As I remind everybody every day, this election is about a strong economy and who can continue to deliver a strong economy, because a strong economy means a stronger future. This election is a choice between a government who understands the economy, a government that has the economic plan that has ensured that through this pandemic we are emerging as one of the strongest advanced economies in the world. We have seen the biggest budget turnaround in the last 12 months in 70 years, over $100 billion, which is enabling us to invest in keeping those pressures on cost of living down, particularly when it comes to fuel prices. And it's great, since I was last down here with Bridget just less than 2 weeks ago, we're seeing those petrol prices come down now in Tasmania, and I welcome that. It's a choice between a government that has been able to maintain our AAA credit rating, which keeps the pressure down on those inflationary forces that we're seeing all around the world. So that's who we are. And a choice of a Labor opposition that people don't know, that hasn't got an economic plan, that people know can't manage money, and that have had 3 years to set these things out and haven't. An important part of our economic plan for our country is we understand, our government, what drives regional economies. And why that's important, because regional economies drive our national economy. What is produced in our regional economies, whether it's forestry, whether it's the agricultural sector, whether it's the fishing sector, whether it is our resources sector. The Deputy Prime Minister, he's up there in the Hunter today. These sectors is what enables us to drive a strong economy, that create the jobs and the momentum in our economy that enables us to employ nurses and teachers and care workers and all the other jobs that flow from our successful producing regional industries. And forestry is key to that. Under my government, under our government, we won't support any shutdowns of native forestry, and we will continue to work with state governments to create permanent timber production areas. And I want to thank the Premier this morning. It is great to work with the Premier here in Tasmania, who understands the importance of the forestry industry and who isn't trying to shut it down, but ensure that the jobs that come from the forestry industry are supported. And the Premier and I, like with his predecessors, have been very committed to this sector. Today we're announcing $106.6 million to boost Australia's forestry research and development capability. Now that's $100 million over 5 years to establish an Australia-wide National Institute for Forest Products Innovation, and that will include a central host hub right here in Launceston, at the epicentre of one of our biggest forestry industries in the country, and up to 5 regionally located centres of excellence across Australia. There will also be $6.6 million in funding to extend the 11 regional forestry hubs for the 2025-26 and the 2026 and 2027 financial years. These regional forestry hubs, their remit will also be expanded to allow them to provide extension services from 2022 to 2023. Now, on top of that, there's $112.9 million in grants to accelerate the adoption of new wood processing technologies, and that funding is in the budget. So combined, these two initiatives is providing a future for our forestry industries and our forest products industries. Not just the production of the resource, but the products that that resource is being turned into. And in particular, that innovation enables us to do things like understanding the new and innovative timber building products that can be used in multi-storied residential and commercial buildings, turning wood waste and residues into products like biofuels, which help develop further our circular economy, and also replacing fossil fuel-based plastics and biodegradable wood-based bioplastics. That's what they're producing. And we saw that here today. Wood waste that would have gone into landfill or been burned, putting emissions into the atmosphere. Instead, being produced into recycled wood products that are finding their way into a consumer market which is looking for these things. So it's not just about ensuring the preservation of resource. Last time I was here a few weeks ago with Jenny, I announced the $86.2 million in a new plantation establishment program to ensure we're developing the new plantations and that we're putting smart science behind it to ensure that we know where to plant, that the right sort of advice through our regional forestry hubs is getting to farmers. So if they want to get into the industry, they know where to best plant and where they're going to get the best results. The research, the science, combined together with the entrepreneurialism of industry and great businesses like the one we're here today at in Launceston at Neville Fisk Forest Products, a 3-generation forestry business. We're looking forward to that being a 4th generation and a 5th generation and a 6th generation. And that's what will happen under our economic plan, because we understand traditional industries that drive regional economies, whether it's forestry here in Tasmania, whether it's resources in the Hunter, or the many other important industries that drive and fuel our regional economies. We get regional Australia, and our economic plan backs it in.